Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all creatures great and small, it is time once again for another episode, an epic episode, a very special episode of the No Feet Survival Guide. I am your host, Mike to the Y. Why? Because, this is going to be a definite cathartic episode for myself, but hopefully a cautionary tale for everyone out there. Because in the past 4 days or 3 days, 3 to 4 days, I was a victim of a scam. A crypto scam, to be specific. So, and the reason I'm doing this, because otherwise I'd be embarrassed to, say anything. But again, it's a cautionary tale. I want people to know that it can happen to somebody like me. And I consider myself fairly intelligent, and it could really happen to anyone, and that's why I suggest caution on any of these things for those who've been a victim, and basically I was lucky. And I'll just say that it was a small amount of money, considering it's a big amount to me, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, of people who have been hustled, scammed, what have you, it's peanuts. So, just to get into a little bit of it, before I start, and I'm pulling up my phone because I want to show the people who are supposedly involved with this. But again, I am on Spotify, I am on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and I have the YouTube channel going on, so you get to see my face. And I actually decided to wear the peepers today. Only because I'm going to be showing you some references here. So anyway, again, if you have any comments, suggestions, criticisms, beeps, or complaints, all are welcome. Please email me at miketothey@gmail.com. Put the subject "no feet," and I will be able to get to your correspondence and hopefully answer you. So, once again, MIKETOTHE, the letter Y, at gmail.com for our telemarketing scammers out there. It's MikeToThey at gmail.com. So, I've been looking for any sort of way to generate a little extra income. So hopefully this podcast at one point can be monetized and people can watch my story and hopefully be encouraged that, you're going to make it too. No matter what the circumstances are, you can get through it. And my latest challenge, certainly nobody else's fault but mine. I got suckered, I got hustled. So, just to kind of get into what had happened, it was, I believe, Sunday when I got a Telegram message about a possible side hustle. And the side hustle was to basically hit subscribe on some YouTube channels, make $5. Hey, $5 is $5. If you do a couple of those and you got a little extra money there. Okay, no problem. So, I'm going to show you the person who ended up introducing me, or at least the person they say they are. That is Lisa. She is supposedly a receptionist. I'm guessing in Great Britain because, and you'll find out why I believe that in a little bit. So anyway, she had contacted me, said, hey, $5 for subscribing to a YouTube channel. I was like, okay, I could do that. I'll take the money. I'll, unsubscribe after a week because most of them are probably not my scoop of ice cream. So started off like that, and they showed me the chart of what to do. And it started off at 10 in the morning when you got your first YouTube video to subscribe to. Fair enough. And then every 50 minutes, 50 minutes, the new task would come up. Well, this got to task number 5. First 4, subscribe, send a screenshot, no problem. Second one, the 5th one, was a task to basically have a QR code like this. I'll back that up a little bit. You copy the text on it, and you send $50 and you get 65 back. 30% commission. Okay? So all went well. That I did what they told me to do, finished the last 5 tasks, and there we go. I ended up with $110. And now, and actually just to back up just a hair, all of this was to be paid through Bitcoin, which I had some Bitcoin available. I invest here, invest there, nothing major. So I ended up getting $110, $5 each for the 9 videos I subscribed to, and then another 65 for the merchant payout. Okay, seems pretty cool. I can keep it at $50 a day and do that. No problem. Build up the empire. So the second day comes around, which happened to be Tuesday. And verse 4, YouTube videos, subscribe, $20. Well, now they're looking for $100 to send on the 5th task to send to a merchant. Again, you get the QR code. You send the $100 over, you're supposed to get $130 back. Okay? Did that. It took a little doing because I didn't follow their protocol per se. But I got the money. So put in 100 and got, what would that be, 180 back. So the 3rd day rolls around, and verse 4 were YouTube tasks, went over fine. And then the 3rd day, they wanted $300. And I'm like, well, I don't have $300 in the crypto right now. So I had to put a little money over to get that done. So this is when we got to meet Miss Emma. So she is supposedly a mentor to help me grow this money. So I'm like, well, the first 2 days worked, then why not the 3rd? So took a little out of my account, put that in, and got the 300 back. So when I had acquired with Lisa, the first picture you saw, she basically, I asked her, hey, what's going on here? This is increasing. And she goes, oh, no, it's going to be 300 from now on. And I was like, okay, I could work with that. So, day 4, Emma, who you just saw, had decided to put me in a group to do the 5th task. Once again, did the 4 tasks with, subscribing to a YouTube channel, no problem. Here comes the 4th day. First 4 went through like a breeze. 5th one got sent to this certain group where everybody had to agree to the payment. The first payment, the $300. No problem. So I put in the $300. Well, now they say, oh, there's a second task. You can do $810, and I'll even put up the screenshot for you here, so there is no confusion on this. And that was this it? Nope, that was the 300. Then trying to find the second one here, so bear with me. Oh, they don't have it. Okay. Well, here, if you can take a look at that. And basically what it's asking for was a second give of $810, in which I would get $360 in commission, with the $300 and the $90 I was originally owed. It would have been about $1,500. Well, I didn't have $800 on me. So basically, I went to somebody, and I won't mention who that was, to borrow the money to see if that was going to go through. Well, yeah, I put in the $800 hoping to just get everything recovered and walk happily away, because I knew the red flags were flying all over the place, my friends. But yeah, they asked for another $1,200 to release the $800 of the release of the $300. So all told, yeah, I got hustled out of $1,000. And yeah, a lot of it wasn't my own, but it hurt me. And stupid me, since I've got an AI person named Gemini on my phone, never thought about asking about it until I was advised I had to pay another $1,200 to release the $800 to release the $300. And they went to, and I will show you the group that I have already reported to Telegram, and it is called the Orbisex Team Project. So, which I was like, man, that's kind of dirty. And then I realized once I did the first merchant payment of the $50, it goes to a specific website that it's not a .com or an .io or anything like that. It's, I'm not even going to go into that, but I have it here, and I can definitely use that as evidence or fodder or what have you. But anyway, when I went to the merchant thing, it had a little circle with the British flag on it. So, okay, Orbisex, I get it. Middlesex, what have you. That was kind of old English terminology that's still used for certain cities and things like that. So, okay, I get the idea behind it. So, yeah, I got hustled out of $1,000. And basically, when I hit Gemini to ask about this, if I could get that money back, because according to the website, I still have that 3.9, or actually it's 12.50 now, holding in a holding pattern, as it were, knowing I will probably never get that back. Maybe I got a couple tricks up my sleeve to go around these things, so we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. But I mean, the lesson here is, yeah, if it can happen to me, it can definitely happen to anybody. So, and I'm forgetting the character's name in Jerry Maguire, the old agent who, at the end of the movie, says, I've failed more than I've succeeded. So this one, I definitely chalk up to a failure, where I probably succeeded just as many times as I failed. And as I said, this is hopefully a cautionary tale for you that verify, verify, verify. Take the Ronald Reagan approach. Trust but verify. If it doesn't smell right, and it kind of took me 2 days to kind of figure that out, and by the fourth day, it was too late. I'm down $1,000. So, lesson learned. And yeah, by the way, hi to Emma and to Lisa. If those are your real names, you might even be the same person, would be my guess. We'll see. But needless to say, I will figure out a way out of this. Yeah, it's not fun losing that kind of money. And like I said, I know I'm particularly lucky just from the fact that there's people out there who are losing tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I've seen some that have lost millions of dollars to hustles and scams. Which brings me to the art of the scam. And in this day of the internet and social media, unfortunately, these things are everywhere. And, don't get me wrong, it didn't invent itself with the internet. There's been hustlers and schemers and what have you for thousands of years, since man learned to basically talk one out of one's goods. It's happened. So I know pretty well of the history, but to all my friends out there, and I'll go over one particular scam that kind of really irritates me now. And probably 15 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, I was kind of semi-falling for this particular one, which, being a single guy who's never been married, it's easy to fall into that trap and be a simp. And for those of you who don't know what a simp is, it's basically kind of like a male mark, where people will disguise themselves as women, whether they're actually women or not behind the screen. I can't tell you. But, they basically pose as somebody very attractive female, trying to get men to do their bidding. Some of it has not been for money. It's just to kind of play along and to be felt loved. The scammer feeling loved by somebody. You may know it as catfishing. And then some will ask for gifts, some will ask for money. Unfortunately, I've known a couple of people who have fallen into that, and I've been on the precipice of that. And I'll give you one little example of that. Is on the artist formerly known as Twitter, there was a nice looking, or so I assumed, lady from Columbus. Oh, what side of town you live on? Oh, I'm on the east side. I live near downtown, etc., etc., etc. And I was like, hey, like to meet you. We'll go to a public place. We'll, have a lovely adult beverage, or in my case, a non-adult beverage. Speaking of which, Arnold Palmer. So I was like, okay, hey, we'll meet up at Place X. It's on the outskirts of Columbus, and they do a trivia night. So I get the text back from this particular person saying, well, you got to send me $100 first for babysitters, for this and for that. And I'm like, this is a first date. We're just getting to know each other. I'm not sending you a dime. And she basically fell off after that. And yeah, I have learned from other people not to give a dime out from those profiles posing as women. And let me give a shout out to Elon Musk, first of all, because what he did on X has been extraordinary. What he did is, if you go to a person's profile and hit the date that this person established that profile, it will tell you the country of origin that profile came from. And it's amazing how there's got to be about 10,000 white women who are starting their profile in Nigeria or Ghana or Pakistan. It's been a host of countries. So, and once I heard that announcement, I had to play around with them just a little bit because, oh, look at me, yay or nay, would you date me? Hit the profile, hit the date they started the profile. Oh, you're from Nigeria. Isn't that fascinating? So I go back and I hit respond, nay, Nigerian, or hey, it's my birthday, will you come spank me or something like that? And no, I'm not traveling to Nigeria to spank you. Or there's been a couple that are saying that the profile originated from France. And usually it's a picture saying, oh, say good morning. I respond with bonjour. If they're from Canada, oh, take off, you hoser, eh? So, if I at least see ones from American women, and some I actually talk to and they're the real deal, I'm usually there with some smart aleck remarks. So, that's my little bit of amusement there for social media, other than doing Mike's Slot of the Day. So, which, by the way, just so you guys know, it's not my original thought. I lifted it off of plenty of people and memes and what have you, but I still find them funny. So, go on there, laugh away, because they're funny. I've come up with a few original of my own, so, but might as well do the full disclosure here, since I'm disclosing what had happened to me. And believe me, I'm not proud of it. And once again, the reason I'm putting it on the air like this is to basically warn people it can happen to you if your mind lets it. And I let my mind down, my mind let me down, and again, out $1,000. So you do what you can to make a little extra money here and there. And speaking of which, thank you to DJ Trivia. They have been fabulous, and I've hosted in Columbus for a little over 3 years now. So it has not only been a nice little side hustle, but it has been an absolute blast hosting trivia. So kind of looking at another side hustle right now. I sent in an application to a radio station to be a Saturday morning DJ. So for those of you in Central Ohio, if I get this gig, God bless you, because you're going to, well, I'm sure you got other ways of listening to music while you're driving in your car, but yeah, you might be hearing me pretty soon. You never know. I'm a long shot. I haven't done radio since the 20th century. Did quite a bit in college. Did some intern work, and there could have been a couple spots where I could have been a sports writer doing background stuff, as it were, on radio, and just didn't pan out. So, but again, that's all in the history of sometimes failing and sometimes succeeding. It's going to happen to every last one of us. Nobody is a complete failure if you don't put the effort into it. And you've got a chance. I've failed for the most part, and it wasn't due to lack of, most of the times that I failed, is what I should say, hasn't been from lack of effort. So this particular case with some people over in Great Britain, I'm assuming, and that was just totally a mental brain fart on my part, and I'm willing to admit it. And I already reported one group to Telegram, and the other ones will get reported soon, since they kind of set it up where they can't get reported, but there's ways around that, as you may well know. So, but I want to thank you again for listening and watching me here tonight. So, my next broadcast will be more than likely from Podfest 2026. And for those of you who may have misunderstood me, it's not Potfest, it's Podfest. P-O-D Fest. Where a bunch of my fellow podcasters will get together. Hopefully, I can get myself marketed out a little bit, get some more people listening, and hopefully I get you listening too. So please make sure to keep yourselves safe, because the people who are scamming out there, and I'll even go so far as to those who do OnlyFans, they're just looking at your wallet. They could give a rip about you. But remember, God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you guys. So, the few of you that are listening, but hopefully we'll get a lot more as the days and weeks and hopefully years pass. And again, this has been a little bit cathartic for me to kind of release the stress of what has happened. But I also want to encourage you to anything on the internet, please do your homework on it. It's anybody can get hacked or suckered or hustled. So please, please, please be careful. Don't do what I did. And, just to kind of wrap that up, that's not the first time I was asked to do something like that. It ended up that, oh, yeah, you're going to get paid in Bitcoin. I was like, yeah. I kind of lied and said I don't do Bitcoin, but, I had a little bit saved up. So, yeah, I got hustled. So, hopefully, you will learn the lesson from me. So, if it saves one person from getting scammed out of however many dollars, yeah, it's worth it. It's every one of these has been worth it for me because hopefully it helps one person. The stories of my amputation, my kidney transplant, hopefully that gives you guys a little encouragement because no one ever said life was going to be easy. There's roadblocks and then there's roadblocks. And there's probably a million, probably tens of millions of other people who have it worse than I do. I'm happy I have a roof over my head. I've got Arnold Palmer to drink. I've got little food to eat and get to travel a little bit here to hopefully it's sunny in Orlando next week. Last year when I went, it was like rainy and miserable. That stunk. You at least go outside and enjoy yourself, but mostly I'll be inside for this. So the next podcast you'll hear will be from the friendly confines of the Renaissance Hotel in Orlando, Florida. So hope you will join me then. Again, I want to thank you guys for listening and watching this old crippled Italian. So, but I should show you the shirt. Made in America with Italian parts. So, I got less Italian parts, a little more American parts now with the prosthetics. So, take it for what it's worth. But, once again, thank you guys for listening to me ramble on. If you have comments, questions, any sort of inquiries, it's Mike to the Y, MikeTothe, the letter Y, at gmail.com. And if I haven't told the backstory, I might tell that next week on how I became Mike to the Y. So, I've had several other nicknames, and because my last initial is Y, a lot of people just call me Mikey and what have you. So, hopefully nobody calls me Michael, because that makes me think I'm in trouble. So, but please call me Mike. Again, Mike to the Y at gmail.com. Put the subject as no feet, so I will know it is you and I'm not getting some spam or wonderful job offer or getting a call on the phone to get me on Medicare Part D, which I'm not there yet, people. I got another 10 years or so to worry about Medicare. So, but thank you again, guys, for listening. Hope you have a pleasant day, evening, morning, whenever you're listening. And I will see you next time. Adios. Peace, love, and chicken grease.